sister cousins, welcome to my channel. I'm Lacey and I'm here to see if the juice is worth the squeeze. Like and subscribe if you're new and run it up in the comments. Let me know it's real. Now, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 episode 13.
Okay, ladies, now let's get information. I slay. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. You know you that when we talk all this conversation. Always stay gracious.
After the beat.
Here we go. Now listen, I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna hold you for a little bit today because today's episode was really, really good.
Keep on going and keep it coming.
And it's not because of Phaedra. Calm down. It is only because of the fact that it was just very well put together, very well edited. It had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end, you know? Or sort of an end, you know? This is part 1 to a 2-part series, I'm assuming, of the Reset Grenada trip. We start the episode with Shamina. They are down to her garage, getting everything prepared for them to ship everything that they are donating to the hurricane survivors in Grenada. It's almost like she tries to flex her wealth.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
She acts just like New Money, to be quite honest. Like, that is how New Money acts. They are not used to having, so they just always gotta flex. From every single label that you wear, girl, if you had earrings, it gotta say Chanel or it gotta say Louis Vuitton. Like, you wear a hat, it gotta have some kind of label on it. You wear a t-shirt, if you wear a sports bra, it gotta be a Gucci sports bra. Like, it's always some type of labels. And yeah, anyway. So we start the episode with Shamia and them. They're packing up everything, getting ready to ship everything off. We see her little girl, is it Shyla? Is it Shyla? I think. She's a cutie pie, no matter. She's like, girl, why do I have to give my stuff away? Like, you donate your stuff, keep my stuff at the house. And she's trying to teach her, like, girl, it is good to give back and, you know, teach the babies while they're young and they'll become well-rounded, you know, adults later on. And I really like Shamina in that space when she's interacting with her family, when she's interacting with, you know, her kid. I like that. And I would even go up for her if we saw more of, like, genuine interactions versus this weird space that she's been in. So Kelly shows up and girl, her and Shyla is the same size. Wait a minute. Girl, when I tell you, like, I wonder how tall she is in comparison to Tiny Harris. Like, because Tiny's pretty short too. So anyway, she shows up, she comes and brings some of her stuff, and then, girl, here comes the bread. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm not even, like, trying to not like her.
I had the worst experience with my event planner. It wasn't a representation of how I would have done things.
Yeah.
Girl, it was your event. It was your event. So it is your fault. All of it. All of it's your fault. And then to find out that you didn't pay the people that were in, you know, helping hands to your event, you didn't even pay them.
You dirty bitch!
I don't have any license to be diagnosing nobody, but I'm just saying, it just seems like she has, like, image dysmorphia, if that's even such a thing. Like, she is literally pretending to be. Remember when Nene said, I don't keep up with the Joneses, I am the Joneses, right? She is literally trying to keep up with the Joneses, and it is literally dusting her at every turn. And it's hard to fake it because the truth eventually comes out. And it's really, like, this has not been a really good season for Britt. And I'm just, girl. Anyway, so Yeah, so she brings a very frail, looks like she got a used box, girl, maybe an old used box that was in the back corner somewhere, U-Haul box. Girl went down to Walmart and grabbed a few little pieces of something. Girl, you ain't even giving enough like effort to go to like a Sam's Club, a little Costco. Like if you're flexing, this $1 million necklace that you've worn in literally every episode, this, big old ring on your finger, the one without the wedding band, and then you have this Rolls Royce or whatever car you got. You got all these things, Louis Prada Gucci, but you can't even put a little piece of a few like huge bundles of toilet paper, the big kind that come in like, I don't know, 24, I don't know, girl, like the real big kind, the real big old kind that some laundry detergent, you know what I'm saying? Some, you know what I'm saying? Like the things that you need, paper towels, toilet paper, laundry detergent. I don't know if that's what you need. Diapers, Pampers, cases of Pampers. Like you couldn't give it up like that. And then you gonna go up and tell them, oh, well, girl, I couldn't fit all of the stuff in the trunk.
She's a messy, tacky bitch.
Keep it, okay? Because like everybody brought their things. Everybody sent their stuff except for you. Even Portia sent a little check. She might not have had the time to do the shopping, but she gave a little donation.
Another one, thank you.
Girl, you couldn't even give a donation, girl. I just don't find it necessary to have her in such a permanent role. I feel like if she could have come in as like a friend of the show, maybe that would have been a little less pressure on her, because she is really bombing this Peach status, it's really, really weird, and it's very, very cringe at this point to watch.
But hoes gonna be hoes, so I couldn't blame Tammy.
And do you notice that anytime she's lying, I'm talking about Brit still, we still on Brit, do you notice that when she lies, she does this? She'll be like, she stiffens that hand.
I couldn't carry everything in the car, so.
Rewatch some of those episodes with her. When she has that little stiff, bent hand, she lying. That's a tell for her. I've noticed that. When trust me, she be lying. When she get that stiff hand, girl, lies.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
And then, girl, Shamina, girl, I just want you to get over this whole, I'm still mad because Drew called me a lapdog and she doubled down on it. Sweetheart, you mean the way you doubled down on laughing at Portia? Is that what you're talking about? You're mad at somebody doubling down and sticking to their guns? Huh? Because isn't that why you fell out with Ange? Because when you were laughing at Portia making a very distasteful joke and she didn't find it very funny, and you found it to be funny, and you were like, listen, I laughed, ha ha ha, blah blah blah. You doubled down on it. So why are you mad at Drew? Because she's like, well, you are a lapdog, especially when you referred to yourself as a lapdog in the past, and the fact that you barked at the table.
Place a further win.
You have went to Home Depot, bought some rope, took it to the car, drove home, tied it up to something sturdy, and then tied the knot, and then put the knot in the rope over your head and say, you know what, I'm gonna hang myself, because that is literally what you are doing. Nobody's giving you rope to hang yourself. You're doing it just fine all alone, okay?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So then we get to Drew and Big Poe, girl. They decide to have a little sit down, and they are going to try to hash out their little differences. And okay, so the wig. Portia mentions the wig, and here's my theory on the wig and Drew. Portia was like, girl, that ain't my wig, girl. I don't know what kind of hair you got on your head. I'm just paraphrasing. And Drew was like, nah, girl, this is you. This is you, girl. You like it? I feel like Drew was being shady in that moment, but nobody caught the shade. Drew is a very covert, shady bitch, okay? And I love it, okay? I just wish she would, like, stand 10 toes down when she's addressed a majority of the time. Now, she's been giving it up these last few episodes, but I'm saying, like, you know, sometimes when she gets approached, she'll play that, you know, dumbfounded look. And I think that annoys people. If you would just be like, yeah, I said that shit. Just like she said, yeah, I called you like dog, girl. And what? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? Whoop my ass? Portia.
Don't make me call Portia.
And I feel like Portia is like on a leash a little bit because the network is like, listen, girl, we love you and everything. You are fave. But if you put your hands on somebody else, girl, you out of here. And I feel like Portia knows that, so she has to, like, keep it really, really cute. And, you know, one, she can't fight anyway. But she has to keep her, you know, things to herself. I'm just saying. So yeah, okay. So they meet down to the tea shop for tea and to try to iron out their little differences. And Portia just doesn't want to be held accountable. She says that she was feeling a type of way because she feels like, well, you know, Drew tried to trigger me, and so therefore I tried to trigger her, or whatever she said. And Drew was like, well, girl, I did not try to trigger you. I was working, and this is like someone else mentioned, the diva. She was like, this is a part of the storyline, so duh. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, of course I'm going to have Dennis a part of my story when this is my actual story. Like, this is not fake. It's not orchestrated. This is her real, exact life playing out before our eyes, which is why I feel like she, to me, is the most valuable peach holder, because she is actually putting her real life out there for everybody to view, okay? Like her or not, she's been giving us her life. So then Portia tells Drew, like, well, girl, Dennis said that it wasn't him because it was this person. And so Drew was like, girl, listen, you know that I'm going through it right now, and I ain't even on that right now. I'm not on dating. And she was like, well, it's okay to date. Portia, this is why I called your last event Projections by Portia, because that's all you do. You like to take things that you know applies to your own life and flip it and uno reverse it.
Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it.
That is your way of controlling everything. And I just find it so annoying that, you know, sometimes, again, Drew, you doing good, but I just need you to put a little bit more pressure on the gas. But what she did do very well was she went on and told her, girl, this ain't even our fight for real. You not mad at me. You mad at that nigga.
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
I was so happy to see that Drew is like really standing up for herself against some bigger players, because it's one thing when you get into it with the LaToya for real or whatever her name is. You know, somebody, some B-side character that doesn't really matter. But when you going up against a big Poe, girl, I am very, very proud of you. Because, girl, you got her skipping and hopping up out of that daggone tea house.
I don't give a fuck. Do I look like I give a fuck? Because I don't.
One thing about Big Poe, girl, she loves to play with fire until the fire gets hot and she's actually in the hot seat, okay? Then she wants to skedaddle and run up out of there. Okay, now she a runner, she a track star. I don't like that, okay? So now we get to Kelly, girl. And Kelly is telling her girls that she is going to miss their first day of school because of this trip. And the twins looked a little bothered by it. But they're like, okay. But girl, Chance was like, girl, bye. Shit, I don't care.
But we don't care.
Every time they give that little girl a mic and a clip to clip it on, she is going to say something shady to her mama, okay? Girl, she told her she couldn't cook the other day. Girl, I literally died. You hear me? How you going to have a whole restaurant and your daughter over here telling them you can't cook. Girl, she really did tell her that she couldn't cook, girl. But, yeah, Chance, girl, she ain't got that many for none of y'all, okay? But yeah, so then she gets downstairs and Lamont, and I don't know if that's another assistant or if that's a family member, girl. I don't know. I don't care. But, because we don't really see them like that. I know Lamont is the assistant, but have we seen that other lady? I don't know who she is. Anyway, so she tells him, like, well, girl, you know, you're going to take the girls to school. You got to go to 3 different schools. And the twins go to school at 7 a.m. And girl, everybody was like, wait, what? Girl. But yes, girl, here in Georgia, the elementary kids be going to school at 7 a.m., okay? And that's just how it is. And so, then the other 2, girl, I'm assuming that the high schooler goes to school next, because that's kind of how it was for my kid. Elementary, super early, middle school, really late, and then high school is like right in between. And yeah, so he was like, when you coming back?
I was waiting on you at the door.
Lamont tells Kelly that he did try to reach out to her ex-husband to try to come to some kind of resolve. And it was really, really heartbreaking to hear that he really doesn't want anything to do with them. And that was the first time that I've ever really like connected with Kelly, because I feel like for the most part, and I'm not saying that I want her to be sad, I'm not saying, but it felt genuine. When she's with the girls, it's very performative. When she tries to put on that, you know, she's just this, you know, big personality, it's a performance, and it's covering up whatever pain she's actually going through. And I'm not saying that we want to see you in pain. I'm saying that we want to see you as a person, because how you're showing up is inauthentic. And then because you have this mask on, you are now including other characteristics that a lot of the audience doesn't really like. I like Kelly, okay? I be wearing her out sometimes, but I like Kelly because I'm about to wear her ass out in a little bit. So bear with me, okay? But I'm just saying, like, this is the version of Kelly, the true Kelly that I was able to empathize with and really feel like, damn, you know, because those tears, they were real. The emotion, that was genuine. It was not fake. It was not put on. She really felt, you could see, like, not necessarily the defeat on her face, but just you just exhausted. You're exhausted from somebody that is literally still trying to break you down. And my heart goes out to her, and it goes out to those kids, because they do not deserve that. They don't. And it just, you know, it just breaks my heart to see that there's people, I can't even say that there's people like I ain't never met them. There are people who just do not care. They don't care. As long as they're with you, they'll be the greatest dad. But as soon as the relationship is over with, they're done. They don't care. And then, you know, they might move on to the next relationship and completely be everything that next person needs. Brian McKnight.
Now, why am I in it?
But for real, Kelly, fuck that man. Okay? Fuck him. All right? Because it's going to really wear his ass out when you completely get all of your things together and he's not going to be a part of it. But see, the type of man he is, he's going to flip the script. See, once you start getting your shit together, he seems like, just from hearing the type of man he is, he seems like the type of man that will try to, once he realizes that his absence isn't getting to you and you're getting your shit together, you're doing your boss, you know, you bossing up, you're doing everything that you've been doing, okay? But you're doing it well without him. Once he sees that, he's going to try to now infiltrate the things, all right? Right now, he's taking jabs at you that way because he knows that it's going to get to you. But once you come out of that pain and then you go into this is how life is, and I'm just going to have to let go of whatever ideas you thought that he was going to be for you. Once you come up out of that fog and you go into the locking in and really just doing your thing, he's going to try to spin the block. And I don't mean for romance. I mean to fuck with you. To fuck with you, because that's the type of man he is. He wants to hurt you. And any way he can hurt you, he will. Right now, this is working. Once that doesn't work, he'll find something else and another way to hurt you. And fuck him, okay? Fuck that man, all right? And don't worry about being no family.
Oh, fuck the family.
You teach those girls, that let me be a cautionary tale, okay? Let me be the cautionary tale that you have to always have your guard up. Don't allow people to break you. Don't get in business with nobody that, I don't care what they say. You get into business for yourself, protect your assets, everything. Like, you know what I mean? Just to kind of like, because you got girls that you raising up. So it's just like, girl, fuck the fairy tale, girl. Girl. Anyway. Moving on. On this journey to 1,000 subscribers, I just want to say this episode is sponsored by you. Thank you so much for your support and helping me along this journey. Your support keeps me encouraged. It keeps me going. It keeps me wanting to make more content. Hopefully you like what you see. So if you like what you see, girl, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, girl. I won't bite, okay? All right, now let's get back to the show. So the day of the trip comes, right? And I put in my notes, Phaedra is being such a mean girl. Now, I know that this is recorded after the show has obviously, wrapped up. But Phaedra in these confessionals against Ange, there is a clear problem there. She is being so mean and so nasty. First of all, Angela doesn't look like she's 50. She doesn't look like she's 60 or whatever, whatever they were trying to say. She just has a nose job, and the nose job isn't, I don't know, because Britt's nose looks good, but she don't sound good. So at least Angela sounds good, even though her nose may not, and I wouldn't get anything else done. She still looks great in pictures. She looks amazing in pictures. She had got some little, Botox fillers in it. She's fine, but she don't look old, okay? Just because she got that, heavy voice, she's very mature, doesn't mean that she's old. Like Phaedra, I remember seeing old clips of Phaedra, and I never thought until the last maybe few years, ever since Phaedra got a divorce, Phaedra has really transitioned her look and aesthetic. Prior to, she was just a basic looking bitch. She didn't have, she always had a wide lobe back there, but I'm talking about like her face. Her face card was never like, oh girl, she's just so pretty. Like Britt Edie, she's very pretty. Very, very pretty. Phaedra ain't never gave that. She never gave that. Not even now. She looks different. She looks, her makeup is good. But I'm just saying, like, you wasn't giving it like you giving it today, okay? Not even as an attorney. You were not given looks and just this beautiful, Portia is another one. She's a very pretty girl. But Phaedra, we was never on your ass for being the pretty girl of the group. Come on. Cut it out.
Stop it. Get some help.
Or what is your gripe? Like, what could Ange have done to you that makes you have such a hard-on for her? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, girl. But I ain't like it. I didn't like it. And I don't like I said, I don't dislike Phaedra. I just find, I feel like I told you guys before, if I haven't explained this about Phaedra before, she is a confessionals, reunion practice read type of bitch, okay? She's going to be shady as hell in them confessionals. She's going to practice a good read because everybody wants to drag this Kenya read down, you know. Girl, y'all will not let it go. So since that's the read of the century, yes, she gave a good read, practiced or not. Yes, she gives shady boots. But in person, she does not read any of the girls down, ever. Now, she was, you know, when you really listen to Phaedra, the stuff that she says is not that clever. Now, when you pissed her off, when you genuinely pissed her off, if she does say something to you, she can gather the girls. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about like a read, like where it's like, oh, girl. No, ma'am. Phaedra ain't the girl for that, okay? And I want y'all to hang it up, all right? Stop giving her more than, you know, stop it. Because it's really translating how she's showing up on this show. Y'all was like, oh, girl, we need Phaedra. We need Phaedra. Girl, Phaedra has brought literally nothing to each franchise that she's ever been on except for Traitors. Traitors and Dancing with the Stars. I heard she did pretty decent on that show, too. Outside of that, she wasn't like, you know, girl, what the hell she doing Married to Medicine? Nothing.
Nothing.
So they flew Southwest on down, and Southwest, you know, shout out to Southwest. Girl, they lost Shamina's bags.
Goddamn son of a bitch!
So all the mean girls are in one car, and then all of the outcasts and Cynthia is in the next. So you got, I think it was like Phaedra, Portia, Shamina, and girl, I don't know, maybe. Girl, I don't know, because girl, I think it was 5 of them. Girl, I don't know, cause the car with, it was Ange, Drew, Cynthia, and somebody was in the car with them, because it's 8 of them, so it was split. But anyway, girl, the group of mean girls, I know Kelly was there, I know Shamina was there, I know Portia was there, and I think Britt was there. Oh, Phaedra was in the car with the, you know, the outcast, so, you know. But outside of that, yeah, it was split up for that. And then they get to the villas, and then they play a little game, and then they decide to mix up the girls. And the way they do Drew is just so bad. Like, girl, I just, girl, everybody gets a person. So you got Kelly and Shamina in a villa. You have Portia and Angela, and girl, Ange clocked it again. She was like, girl, I'm fine being in the room with Portia. My man is at home. So they got a room together. Britt and Phaedra are in a room together. And then you have Cynthia and Drew. And I just didn't like that. I didn't like it. Because I feel like Cynthia is like the chaperone of the group, okay? And the one kid that nobody likes gets to be up under the adult, because the other girls are going to like kind of do them. And then you got this outcast, and, you know, because the adult is going to be pretty neutral, the kid, you know? So I feel like that's kind of how they're treating Drew. Even though I know that Ange and Drew gets along, I'm just saying Ange has been pretty much like solid, standing 20 toes down, like, girl, play with somebody else. And they see that, so they don't really like give her the smoke like they was giving at first. And Drew is just the one eyeball out, and I hate that for her. So they play the game of drink whatever, and then your room is going to be at the number of the room is going to be at the bottom of your cup. And so everybody got nice rooms except for Cynthia and Drew. And so Drew arm wrestles Cynthia, because there's the suite has 2 twin beds, and then they have a queen or king or whatever. And Drew wins But then when they get to the room, Drew ended up giving her room to Cynthia. And I feel like I would have done the same thing. Because, I mean, once again, she's the chaperone. So it's like, girl, you gonna get a chaperone a twin bed?
Maybe.
So, so Portia was asking questions about something that the chef could make or some type of sauce or whatever. And so Shamina, and I don't know if Kelly was saying anything, but Shamina was definitely saying something. And for me, I could see a little bit of annoyance on Portia's face. And she tried to play it off like, girl, okay. But I feel like there was just a tad bit of, girl, what?
Okay, bye, sweetie. Bitch.
That's kind of what it gave me. I'm not saying that it was like bitch, but it was like, all right, I'm gonna let you make it with this one. I'm gonna let you get that shit off because, you know, we trying to be cool right now. But I could tell that Portia really wasn't fooling with her, for real. So they wrapped that up, and then what ended up happening is, girl, Drew and Cynthia had the conversation out there on the patio because I think they had like a few minutes to get their little shit together, but they managed to squeeze this little conversation in. So they had this conversation about everything with Portia and Dennis and all of the things. And so Drew tells Cynthia, like, girl, we tried to have a little meetup and it just didn't work. She barely lasted 5 minutes. And Cynthia was like, well, you know, that's crazy. And so, girl, Drew says, well, you know, we were trying to address her issues with me and Dennis, but then come to find out she was out here filming with Ralph. And Cynthia, once again, has said some dumb shit. And so, girl, it makes me think, Cynthia... Hold on, let me see when Cynthia's birthday is. Okay, so like I said, I just had to make sure because I knew Cynthia's birthday was in February, but I wasn't sure if she was like on the cusp of Pisces or Aquarius. Come to find out, her birthday is February 19th, marking the first day of Pisces, right? So now I'm really like, on your ass, girl. You are a Pisces, and this is why you move the way you do, okay, with the people around you, which also makes it clear to me why Nene has such a hard time with you, because she's a fire sign. She's a Sagittarius. And even though Sagittarius are a little, you know, different, as the leader of all the kids, girl, as an Aries, fire signs and water signs, you know, I'm not saying that we like, you know, girl, see, I had a lot on my mind. I'm not saying that we don't get along. We do. But I understand why water signs understand other water signs. So Cynthia and Portia, even though Portia's a Cancer, water signs are like-minded. All of them. All of them. They're different levels. I feel like the Pisces is the shallow end. The Cancers are a little deeper in the water. And then the Scorpios, girl, they off in the sea. Okay? Somewhere lost at sea. All right? So, yes. Now it makes sense why every time the logic doesn't make sense to my brain and to a lot of other people, it makes perfect sense to Cynthia, because the way she sat there and said, oh, well, that's just Portia. Well, she ain't say that's just Portia. Well, you know how Portia is. She gonna get her lick back.
Really? You gonna let that slide?
So it was cool, or it wasn't cool when Drew was filming, but now that it's Portia, oh, she gonna get her lick back. And let's just be clear, the dynamics between Dennis to Portia and the dynamics the ratio between Drew to Ralph, blockhead ass Ralph, it's totally different, okay? Drew and Ralph have been together for over a decade, all right? Portia met that man in that woman's house and thought she was gonna cheese and smile her way into some millions, okay? That's what she thought she was gonna get out of it. Girl, they haven't even known each other for half of a decade, all right? They've literally known each other for 3 to 4 years.
I just, girl, stop.
And Dennis, y'all have a kid. You don't own that man. You don't. Okay? That man is free to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. If he wants to film with Drew, let him do that. But this is literally still her active husband who's living in her house. Okay? And they are going through a very contentious divorce. And Cynthia, girl, you so daggone trash. Sin literally has the nerve to say they're even. Even? How?
I guess we'll never know.
Cynthia, girl. Anyway. Okay, so then the girls get ready to go out to eat. Girl, Shamina, again, her stuff was left behind on Southwest, but she does look cute, okay? This time. She does look cute. And also was on a little phone call with her husband, and it happens to be their 8-year anniversary. And so, you know, there was conversation there. And I was like, well, damn. Like, yikes. I don't know. But they get to the car, girl. Portia, Drew, Angela, and Cynthia are in the car together. And girl, when I tell you it was crickets, girl, that was such a cringe car ride. Like, oof, girl. But they get to the restaurant. And this is when the episode goes away.
Tragic.
So, girl, they're at the table, you know, having their little conversations. I don't know how they got on this. I remember Ange saying something about an anniversary. But, girl, we get on Kelly talking about a happy ending. And so everybody was like, oh, no, I've never had a happy ending. And I'm like, girl, are you talking about those massage therapists that's not really licensed? Girl, they be down there half naked on Instagram with their clothes off and some underwear on. And, you know, if you want the naked special, you know, you got to pay an extra fee. But they want to charge you so that they can grope and rub on you for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, when I say those type of men that be out there, listen, make your money. But it's disgusting. No shade to the girls that do pay for it. Do what you got to do. But I just find that just so disgusting. Like, get the fuck off of me. Like, ew. Don't touch me. Girl, I feel like when I've seen those on Instagram, it feels like you're violating me and you're making me pay for you to violate me. And it's very cringe. But I think that's the happy ending she's talking about. I don't necessarily think that she got a happy ending. Like them old greasy men at the massage parlors. You know what I mean? But I think that's what she's talking about. I think she was talking about the guys that be down. You know who I'm talking about. Them Instagram men that be having all them muscles, be picking the girls upside down. They be damn near naked. All they got on is a little sheet, you know, little piece of panty on, girl, barely, even that. And they be, you know, doing all that, girl, all that sexual stuff to them. Everything but put the little, you know, they might. They might. I think that was what she was talking about, though. So anyway, they get to talking about that, but then the conversation gets, you know, onto a more serious note, right? Well, I don't know how this conversation got started, girl. Don't get me, girl. But Kelly says, well, let's, you know, clear the air. And I want to start, that's how she got to it. She says, let's clear the air. I want to clear the air by bringing Drew and Shamina. And so Drew was like, well, girl, no. I think Shamina was like, well, I don't like how you call me a lapdog and you double down on it. And Drew was like, well, a hit dog will holler. Let me tell you, I was in the parking lot listening to a clip, okay? And I saw that clip, and when I tell you, I had to replay it again because I was like, wait a minute, what did she just say? The way I screamed, I was on the phone with my daughter and I was watching Instagram, and when I tell you I screamed, I was like, get her, girl. Like, girl, when I tell you I was so happy that Drew is standing on big business. Do you hear me? Like, I felt like a proud auntie, girl. And I know she older than me, but I was so proud of her. But she was like, well, a hit dog will holler. Girl, die, okay? And Shamia was like, see, there she go. There she go. She's still calling me a dog. And Kelly in the corner like, now, girl, if she start to fight you. And I'm like, Kelly, you shut up, okay? If she want to call her a dog, okay? Because you turning into the new lap puppy, all right? Because the way you be swinging left and right for whoever, girl, it don't even matter. You Portia's lap puppy, you Shamina's lap puppy. Girl, Britt's lap puppy.
And your little dog, too.
You and Cha-Cha got a lot in common because y'all act just alike, okay? But anyway, so then Britt, no, wait, no. So then Kelly says, well, I think that you have a problem with everybody except for Cynthia. Bitch, what?
I beg your pardon?
First of all, who in the fuck has a problem with Drew? Or who would Drew have a problem with? Like, this is why I'm like, Kelly, you shut your ass up because you sound stupid. Like, she does not have a problem with any of you. First of all, what has Drew directly done to you, Kelly? What has Drew directly done to Britt? Even when they had their little words, what exactly did Drew do to Britt except for laugh at her?
You are funny.
Oh, man.
You really know it.
I
Really
love
made me
it.
laugh.
I love it.
Like,
Well,
for
I'm
real,
glad
that
I can
was
make you laugh.
I really wish y'all would shut the fuck up with this. Oh, Drew's a problem. Oh, she don't get along. No, y'all have decided to pile on her. Just like I said my last episode, y'all have decided to pile on her and make up all these fucked up ass narratives, calling her a liar. You guys came in to the show with a preconceived notion about her because you guys have watched prior seasons with her on it, and you already decided that you don't like her based off of that, or you feel like she's an easy target because she's very nice. She's nice, but she a little nice nasty. I like that. But I'm just saying, like, she's not going to give you the smoke like a Portia or a Nene or a Kenya. She's not going to come in hot like that, you know? But girl, I don't know, girl, because the way she come in, I'm living for it. But anyway, but wait a minute, because I'm getting too far ahead of myself. So Portia or Shamina or whatever, they say something about their friendship, and Shamina tries to play victim. I haven't even said anything. I didn't even say anything. And so Angela and Drew was like, well, girl, listen, we can't make this shit up. You said it to us. We didn't put this on you.
I asked you, is it a coincidence?
Now, Phaedra did make a good point and say, well, how would you expect for Shamia, you talking about Shamia's friend, and you think that she's not going to go back and tell her friend? I get that. But on the same token, the same thing can be in reverse. Why would you feel like they're going to have some type of loyalty to you as a person who is not your friend, and to think that they will keep that secret just off a girl code alone? Like, no. They're going to say exactly how you felt like you was going to run and tell that. They went on ahead and run and tell that. Now, Angela said she didn't pry. I don't feel like she pried either. I feel like Angela saw how Portia was behaving at the table.
Are you honest?
Portia, stop.
And she had opinions about it. And because Shamina was freshly hurt by that moment, that she felt like she could confide in her. And that is how they were able to get that information. I highly doubt that Angela was just sitting at the table, they having a good time. She's like, well, how about you and Portia? What's going on with you and Portia? I don't think it was like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, girl. I could be wrong, okay? But I just feel like that's how it went, and, you know, that's what I'm going with, okay? So, yeah. But I just, you know, I really want to like Shamina. I just can't. At this point, like, I can't in good conscience just fool with some of her ways that she thinks, because it's very in alignment with Portia. I'm not gonna say that Shamina is dumb.
No, I'm gonna pass on that one.
Kelly asked about the friendship, and she was like, well, Portia, let me just ask you. Because Portia was like, well, why didn't anybody ask me about how, you know, everything was going or whatever? And so Kelly was like, okay, well, you know, do you think you're a good friend to Shamina? And once again, Portia doing Portia, I don't want to talk about it. And I'm like, girl, what have you actually talked about and addressed this entire time? And everybody kind of just let her make it with that. Nobody pressed it. But then really what got me was when Drew and Portia had like a little exchange about, you know, baby daddies and ex-husbands. Drew, this is where you get on my nerves a little bit, Drew. Because you literally listen to Portia bullshit you, okay? And instead of keeping your foot on her neck like she deserves, you're going to say to her, well, can we just say thank you? I thank you for acknowledging. Girl, I ain't giving her a goddamn drop of anything, okay? Understanding, empathy. Girl, nothing. She ain't getting nothing from me, okay? And I just wish Drew would have just kind of pressed it a little bit and really like held it down. She did hold it down, but I feel like she gave Portia a little bit of a pass, okay? And so once that was over with, the conversation was, well, it was kind of over with for the most part. And you could tell even then that Portia really wasn't over it and Drew really wasn't happy either. But they like got along to get along kind of thing, you know? But then Britt.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Pistol Grip Pump, a.k.a. Miss Bangkok, a.k.a. Miss Britt Edie.
You in Bangkok, sweetie. There's a reason they don't call it Bangkok.
Girl, she's like, well, since we're clearing the air, I just want to say that, you know, my husband invited Apollo to my whatever classic or whatever, right? So I'm like, now it's starting to make sense, Brisket. Now it's starting to make sense. Why you such a tacky ass bitch?
You're tacky and I hate you.
Let's start here. One, Kenya already said you was a fraud, okay? You got this situation with this license, all right? You brought a paper mache box of bullshit, okay? Then you turned around and you're telling me that Apollo and your husband know each other and he invited him to the Barely event? Got it. You know, it's something about these husbands that come onto these platforms with their wives. And when you say, well, what does your husband do for a living?
All I'm saying to you is, what do you do, man?
You don't know what this man does. Now, Drew, I'm going to give you a little bit of a break here because we really don't know what that man does either, okay? But y'all said that he was in tech, so we just going to go with he's in tech. But there's literally no direction of what Brisket's husband does. I don't want to call her Brisket. Okay, Britt. What Britt's husband does for a living. And I feel like whenever you see husbands come onto these platforms like that, it's just a matter of time before they end up.
You're going to jail, bitch.
We done seen it with Apollo. We didn't know what the hell he did. I didn't know if he was a barber. I didn't know if he was, girl, I didn't know what he did for a living. But it gives that. And the fact that you are in some type of like friendship with Apollo, I'm like,
that's suspicious. That's weird.
Something ain't clean in a peach juice. You understand me? I'm just saying. I'm on to you, girl, because like your storyline is just falling apart, okay? It's just, girl, just falling apart, okay? But then she tells Phaedra, you know, that he invited Apollo. I don't think Apollo came, but, you know, he was invited to the Barely event. And, girl, Phaedra was like, okay.
Oh, that's good for you, baby.
I said a whole lot, girl. It just, girl, listen. It was a good episode. And I feel like I don't remember. I know this video is at least an hour, okay? And I'm sorry. If you made it to the end of this episode, thank you so much for sticking it out with me, girl. Listening to me run my goddamn mouth. I love it. And if you like it, I love it even more, okay? Because I enjoy these conversations and I enjoy getting down here and talking, okay? But yeah, so yeah, let me know what you felt about the episode. Did I miss anything? I love when you guys tell me things and I be like, oh, I did think of that, but I didn't really say it on camera. And, you know, I love to have these conversations with, you know, you guys, because y'all my people, okay? But yes, I guess I'm going to call you back in a little bit and, you know, go ahead and edit this thing and hopefully it comes out on Tuesday. And if not, it'll come out on Wednesday, okay? But yes, so like and subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're really about that life, and come on down and talk to me in these comments. Keep it cute, keep it respectful, and you know, we'll be good. All right, girl, I'll talk to you later. Bye.